I'm the best striker in this division. I'm smash Israel Adesanya. Dana White, I came for my goal.
Dustin.
Episode 261, let's go. We're leaving the Apex. We're going straight to Baku, Azerbaijan. If you're new here, Meat Boy MMA, smash subscribe for easy locks and laughs. And we got another absolute meat lock for this week. Last week was the Murtazali Magomedov meat lock, and we basically said he was going to get that one done in the first round. Easy light work over the stun gun bum, and it went exactly as we said it would. So what'd you make of last week's meat lock? And why do you think that a second Magomedov, not to bury the lead, but why does a second Magomedov meat lock get us back in the green after this week?
Yeah, I mean, a second Magomedov is absolutely going to get us back in the green. I mean, it just only makes sense. Lokinov is an absolute lock, and he will be throwing absolute bombs, some spinning meat kicks, and get a KO early and often.
Yeah, before we even jump into it again, if you're in a rush, head straight to the timestamp. You'll see this week's meat lock in a comment below. But what'd you make of Murtazali last week? Because I think he got it done maybe even quicker than we thought he would. We essentially said, yo, even though these are close to minus 300 odds, this is a dude Murtazali who, in a couple fights, might be upwards of minus 500, minus 600, depending on the opponent he faces. And it was clear domination, start to finish. Only the fourth twister in UFC history. A huge splash for the kid. So what'd you make of Murtazali, and do you see him as a legit contender?
Yeah, no, for sure, legit contender. This guy's a freak. I mean, fighting out of Kyrgyzstan. I mean, this guy, he's definitely gonna get to the top contenders, top 5, top 10, and be tested. I think he'll do pretty well, to be honest, as of right now. A lot of people have come and gone. You know, there's no more Topuria at 145. You know, there's no more Max. Like, I think this guy could be a top 3 fighter within the next 2 years, to be honest. Like, this guy has some legit skill. 100% finish rate, just crazy to see. Definitely top prospect to keep your eyes on.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to give him probably a top prospect in his next contest already. So keep your eyes out for Murtazali Magomedov. The fight card itself somewhat delivered, I thought. The Lock Dog took out Andre Fili. C-Rod, easy light work over Haider Emil. Our boy Iwan Kutelaba was close to getting his finish of his own, but then ultimately quit in the second round. Navajo gets that one done. And then obviously in the meat event, Manel Kopp got the comeback finish and took out Horiguchi and probably gets a title fight next. So any last thoughts on the meta duster from last week, or are you trying to go to Azerbaijan?
Yeah, let's go straight to Azerbaijan.
Swap us through then. Let's go. It's easy light work meat lock. It's a second straight Magomedov meat lock. And this week it's the Shara variety. Murtazali last week. Shara this week. You may know him as Shara Bullet and his minus 285 favorite against Michel Pereira, aka Damali Dor, who is a plus 275 dog and was a guy that you and I used to be big fans of. Michel Pereira, right? This dude made an absolute splash when he joined the UFC. Comes through with the backflips, entertaining the fans, going wild. Has an amazing debut. Then obviously there was the Boonstonk hiccup and the subsequent loss to Diego Sanchez. But after that, Michel Pereira went on a basically 10-fight win streak, all the rage, kicking everyone's butt, but had a 3-fight loss streak and basically hasn't looked the same since, right? It feels like Fluffy Hernandez really sort of took his soul. And even though Michel Pereira technically won his last fight, that being a split decision over Zach Reese, that was a pretty bad decision, and we thought Zach Reese did enough to get that one done. I think we might have even meatlocked that one. So we think Shara Bullet is just going to be leaps and bounds better than Damali Dor. They're both 32. Shara Bullet, though, is 5-1 in the UFC. Only has the one loss to MVP, and which was just a stylistic nightmare matchup. But other than that, he's been smoking everyone. Pretty nice wins over Powerbar. Armin Petrosian has aged somewhat nicely. Oleg Zaychuk, Blindado. I mean, this is a dude who keeps getting better in every single fight, and now fighting an Akomian opportunity in a fighter in Demalador who hasn't looked good in basically 3 years. We think this is another easy to light work Magomedov meatlock. So what do you make of this meatlock? How do you think Shara Bullet gets this one done over Demalador? And do you think he finishes Michel Pereira, or this fight goes the distance?
You know, that's a good question, and honestly, I think he's gonna absolutely ragdoll Demolidor. I think he's going to knock him out. I think he's gonna pick him apart. I mean, Demolidor is probably gonna panic, try to grapple, but we've seen Magomedov really level up in his grappling and takedown defense. So I just don't know how Bumdog Pereira is gonna get this one done. I think Michel is donezo. He'll probably go to BKFC, or Power Slap maybe. Like I don't know, but yeah, this is just they're just really setting up Magomedov to get to that title, but in a slow sizzle, sugar Sean way. They don't want to push him too fast. They want to make sure he levels up properly, gets that title, and they're trying to make him a champion.
Yeah, they've definitely been slow sizzling Shara Bullet for sure, and he's kind of a unique case in the sense that he only really fights in that area of the world, right? All of his fights have been in either Abu Dhabi or Saudi Arabia. Obviously, this fight now in Azerbaijan, so it sort of limits his availability and answers the question why this guy seems to only fight once a year. But we think that this is just a great opportunity against I don't want to say a popular fighter, but Michel Pereira does have some name brand recognition. I feel like he's definitely a fan friendly favorite, and this seems like a good opportunity for Shara to steal his hype and, to your point, continue that slow sizzle ascension that the UFC wants him on for sure. And you touched on the grappling. That was sort of the weakness, right? That was the deficiency that we first noticed from Shara Bullet, specifically in that fight against Bruno Silva, his debut. Bruno Silva was getting takedowns on him, and when Blindado's taking you down, obviously that's a bad look, but Shara Bullet made those adjustments, and even so much in that next fight against Antonio Tricoli, which was only like 6 months later, he picked up performance of the night and was getting takedowns of his own in that contest. So it was encouraging to see how much Shara Bullet was able to improve in such a short period. And even so, against Michel Pereira, you got to imagine Michel Pereira is going to try and stand and bang, right? This is a dude who will be doing backflips off the cage, throwing all sorts of spinning stuff, and will want to put on a show. So I don't even think that the grappling will factor into this, unless, of course, Shara wants to, right? I mean, this is a dude who Michel Pereira just gasses out these days, and Shara might be wise to take advantage, especially in the later moments. So if you're obviously we're taking Shara Bullet in this one, I think he ultimately gets a finish in this one, and is it earlier off?
Yeah, I think he does get a finish. I think it's absolutely early and often, and yeah, I just don't know how. Like, I just don't see Michel getting past round two, to be honest. I think he's gonna get clipped. I mean, Michel's been knocked out before. I mean, he's been finished by Boone Stonks. He's been TKO'd by uh Diego Sanchez. Like he gets knocked out. So I think he's gonna get his chin touched. By round two, he's going to sleep.
TKO'd by Diego Sanchez is hilarious. Absolutely, 100%. That's what went down. I think the most striking example though was the loss to Kyle Dawkins. I mean, we just saw Kyle Dawkins 2 weeks ago against Bo Nickel. Looked like an absolute amateur, got slept in 5 seconds. Kyle Dawkins did that to Michel Pereira. So if you're getting slept by a dude who gets slept by Bo Nickel in 5 seconds, it's not a good look against a guy like Shara Bullet, who is known for his lethal striking. So Shara's the meat lock in this one. It's back-to-back Magomedovs. We're going heavy just like we did last week. Essentially going all in, throwing down 2280 to net 800. Get us back in the green. Obviously, it's been a little bit of a climb these past 2 weeks, but back-to-back Magomedovs have to cash in and get us back in the green via the Mago meat locks. So any last thoughts on this meat lock? Officially, I'll go Shara by finish as well. Maybe this fight goes the distance, but there's no pathway for Michel Pereira to get this one done. So any last thoughts on this meat lock?
No, no other thoughts. This is another back-to-back meat lock. We are going heavy hammer, and we're going to be in the green after this weekend.